a very hectic morning, and I am excited and ready to dig in and dive into all of the things to talk about today, right? As you can see from the image before you, we're living in the upside down world. What's up, Sherry? What's up, Masani? Hey, Sandy. What's up, Patrice? Patrice. What's up, Lisa? Good to see you, Dizzy. What's up, John? Hello, Yolanda. What's up? It started going fast. Veronica, Donna Ski, Cam, Miss M. Good to see you as well. Hey, Tara Stewart. Hey, Indigo Spirit. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, Amy. What's up? 2409. If you are joining on Facebook and YouTube, make sure that you speak so that I can see you. Hey, Elizabeth. Hello, Yolanda. Who do I see? What's up, Brandy? Hey, Kenwood, how are you? It's going so fast, you guys. What's up, Doom Sprinkles? What's up, Dirty Bad Bloggers? Hey, Katrina. Hello, Dad Jokes. Marsha, good to see you. Mel Gray, hello. Donna Ski. Hey, Artep, it's a lot just like happening all at once. Hello, Virginia. What is up, Just Mo? Da Boss, good to see you as well. I think I said Mel Gray already. What's up, user blessed of 8? Yes, you just saw me in a live. You sure did. You know, finding a little good trouble this morning. Just a smidge. Folks, if you are joining on YouTube or Facebook and you would like for me to say hello, you have to say hi to me because I can't see when you join. I can only see when you comment. Okay, what's up, Cheryl? Good morning. Hey, Cassie. What's up, KT? Good to see you. Hey, Carla. Good to see you as well. It is happening. It's a lot really quick. What's up, the other Cheryl? It went so fast I couldn't even see who that was. What's up, Catsmandu? Good morning, Tam Bam. What's up, Blue Honey Pot? LB Donna. Good to see you as well. Hello, Angel Snow, Cassie, Alice. Hey, West. West, if you don't want to be greeted, literally, you can just put your finger on the screen and just swoop and go somewhere else. Yeah. So the point is when you first go live to greet people that are your regulars. So yeah, you're not a regular. You might not are used to being greeted, but good morning anyway, West. Hello, Ronnie Love. What's up, Witch? Good to see you. Hey, Chef Ryan. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Tech Lady. Veronica. All right, folks. So we are going to dive in. We got a lot to talk about today, and I've had a change in schedule. Hey, Christine. What's up, user 774499? All right. So what's up, Steffi G? I think I saw you. And Kimber. And I just knocked something off my desk, so let me grab it. Good morning, Carmen. I did. Oh, there it is. I was like, what did I do with it? Yeah, just get up on a better side of the bed. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm all about that. So, folks, I have quite a few clips to play today. Before I dig right into that, let me also say this. I have, I'm not worried about the courts, Nicole. It's just going to go to the Supreme Court. That's all. And they're before Judge Breyer again today. I need for you guys to not get all devastated about the court system because the court system is a long process. It falls into our category number 3, which means we are not going to be devastated about it because we can't do anything about it. We're going to be informed and aware. And then we're going to focus on the areas that we can control and influence, right? And so that's it. The court system is going to do what the court system does. And that's it. You know what I mean? We're going to go to the Supreme Court. They're going back in front of Breyer again today. I think it's because they are separating their arguments. Give me a second. I keep thinking that this is blurry. Maybe it's just me, but so they are. I think what they are doing is separating their arguments. So you remember when they said, you never thought you'd see all these pictures here together. I know they're quite a bunch, aren't they? What's up, MG Brock? Hey, Chelsea. And so what I believe is happening. So remember when they were talking to the appellate court? And that's what I'm saying. I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it, Cam. I'm trying. I don't know if it's a TikTok thing today. I don't know. But let me just say this. Right. It's not as crisp as normal. I don't know what that is. It just kind of is what it is. I don't have any lighting. Hey, Ethan, good morning. What's up, Jen? All right, so let me just say this to you guys, okay? So I am going to play some different clips from these different individuals. And I also want to do some reminders as we talk about these things. So this is what I was saying about the court system. So the reason I think that they are that they're going back before Breyer is I think that they are simply separating their argument. So if you remember at the appellate court where the court was saying, well, are you saying we have to address this and, Constitution Article 10, are you doing this? What if this? And they were saying, well, we don't think that the court has to take it this far. All we're asking you to do is address this itty bitty thing. And I think what the appellate court did was go ahead and look at the totality of all the things. But one of the things that, if you will notice, the appellate court said is, yeah, no, his actions are not unreviewable. So I need for people to understand that even though they said he can still do whatever with the National Guard right now in this moment, they also said, no, you're not king of the court and you don't get to do whatever, say whatever, and we can't question you. So have a little faith. And think about the fact, because TikTok is on my phone and YouTube and Facebook are on something else. So just remember, good morning, Laura, that they even said, take it down a notch. You're not king. The courts can question you. The courts can review what you've done. And so don't get that twisted. So for those of you guys who were like, oh my God, what did the appellate court do? Keep in mind that they did not give him a blanket pass and say the courts can't review what you do. So that's an important part of that ruling, of that opinion. And so it's important, right? It's whether or not LA rises to a rebellion, and that's what Breyer will answer. And then once Breyer does that, you can expect the Trump organization, the Trump administration, to also appeal that to the appellate court. Good morning, Tootie. And then you can expect for this other one and that one to both end up going to the Supreme Court, depending upon what those orders are, right? So, okay, so let me just say this very quickly. If you have never, ever, ever been in one of my lives, do me a favor and put a 1 in the comments. If you've never been here, put a 1 in the comments, please. So this way I can kind of let you know what kind of space you're in, what you can expect in this space, how we conduct this space. Welcome, Justice. Good to see you. Love new folks when new folks stumble in here. So we love that. Let's see. All right, Donkey, Olivia. All right, got some new folks. Love that. Okay, so good morning, Susan, over on Facebook. So let me just say this to you all. There are only 4 things that I ask for in this space. 1, Beach Bum wannabe. No. I ask that you be respectful, right? Those 4 things are right up here in this image. I ask that you be respectful. I ask that you not use slurs of any kind. I ask that you don't spam my comments. So if you want to say something, say it once or twice, but don't repeat the same thing 5 and 6 times, because it clogs up the comments and it doesn't help us, right? Good morning, Michael. And then the last but not least is don't type in all caps. It is reserved for my moderators and for the individuals who are vision impaired. So good morning, Grammy. So those are the 4 things. So in other words, I just want you to act like you're an adult. You can follow some basic guidelines, and then we can have some dialogue and even some discourse. We're just going to do it respectfully. Appreciate you, Cam. We're going to do it respectfully and in a way where people can hopefully discover some new things, right? That's it. If that is not your cup of tea, if you want to argue and scream and demean each other and curse each other out, this is not your space. Good morning, Randy Lynn. This is not for you. And that's okay, because I'm not for everybody. What you want to do is, if that's the thing that you just love to engage in, then what you're going to want to do is take your finger, if you're on TikTok, and put it on your screen and then just swoop and leave. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, right? So good morning, Sassy, Salt and Sassy. What's up, 3 Tree? All right, so I'm resetting, folks, and then we're going to dive right in. So here's the thing that I think is important. I've seen a couple of different creators and influencers, whatever you want to call people who do the things that I do. I've seen a couple of people that are talking about what Matt Gaetz has said, or what Marjorie Taylor Greene has said, or what Candace Owens has said in reference to Donald Trump and a reference to the stuff between Israel and Iran. And I'm going to talk about those things. However, I also want to talk about something else. Good morning, Linda. I also want to talk about something else. I don't want you all to forget that these people are still the same shitty people they were previously. So disagreeing with Donald Trump one time after you've been cut from the inner circle doesn't make you a great person, doesn't make you a godsend, doesn't make you whatever. Listen, you have been a shitty person for a really long time, and we're not forgetting that. Okay, so it's just like Mike Pence on J6th. It is great that he had a boundary, but he was good with everything else except for that one thing. So, yeah, we're not forgetting that. So, Matt Gaetz, we're still not bringing you around our daughters. We're still not bringing you around our nieces. We still want Congress to finish their investigation. We still want someone in the Florida Police Department to do their damn job and investigate you and hold you accountable. Just saying. Candace, we understand that the Shapiro money and the Trump money is drying up. We get it. You're no longer on the Daily Wire and shit has gotten a little like less than it used to be. We understand that the grift has drifted away from you, right? But we still remember what a person you have been, right? I just want to say that. Like, Candace, we get it. Yeah, the grift is gone, Camille. Exactly. Good morning, Sandra. And so we get that, Candace, that, you know, attacking Donald Trump, which is what you used to do in 2015, it, you know, is no longer, you know, is something new. So maybe that will help, that will help pick up the checks a bit, right? We get that. You know, I absolutely get the fact that Tucker Carlson, is you know, is living on TikTok. Yes, new stickers, Cam. I wondered who was going to see them first. But I need for you all to remember that Tucker Carlson used to be on CNN. So this is a person who absolutely knows better than the bullshit he did on Fox News for fucking ever. He knows better, right? This is not something new. It's not like, I need to just tell you all, these people are not all of a sudden the damn disciples. They are not. So we need to really remember that, okay? Same thing when I talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, so listen, you can't say that Fox News and these other places are now, and the New York Post are now brainwashing people, but they weren't brainwashing those same people back in 2020 or 2019. Like, you don't get to pick and choose, Marjorie. We understand. We know exactly who you are. Oh, great. Thank you for following, Catherine. Love that. Love to see you here. So I think it's just really important for us to understand that these people are still the horrible human beings that they have been this whole time. It doesn't mean that they can't say something that is accurate. Right? It doesn't mean they can't say something that is accurate. A broken clock is right twice a day. Oh, thanks, Red Hot. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And so it's just important for people to understand. And what I'm not going to do is talk about their words without talking about who they have been for the last decade. Okay? I think that that's really important. When we start to talk about what these people are doing and saying today, it must be in the context of what they have been doing and saying for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. That's incredibly important because it matters. And now, let me just say this. And there will be some people who will say, oh my God, they can't win for losing. Yes, they could. Do you know how they could win? Like, real talk? Here's what they could do. If they came out, thank you, Alex. If they came out and said, listen, I have to take ownership for the bullshit I have been peddling for the last 7, 8, 9 years, right? I have to take ownership. I knew that the information that was coming to you in 2019 and in 2020 was false. I knew in 2021 that we were on the wrong side of history. You know, I get it. And now from this moment forward, I want to use my time, my energy, my platform, and my position to be able to right that wrong, right? That would be different. But that's not what they're doing now. That's not what they're doing now. They are simply switching sides. What's up, Sage? Now, part of me is going, is this the beginning of what they want to be the new Republican Party? Is this the beginning of what they want to be the new Republican Party absent Donald Trump? Right? I just go, because I've never known this group of people to do shit that ain't for themselves. I have never seen them do anything for the American people that did not benefit themselves first and foremost. Right? So I just want to say that before we get all the way. Right. That little 5 minute video does not erase the last decade. 100%. And so that's what I think that people need to remember, even while we talk about the things that they are saying, even while we talk about, the things that they are saying that may be accurate, right? So let me go ahead and and say this to everybody else. So one of the things that I would like for people to do is to go ahead and request up to the panel. So if you are in the comments and hey Shelly, and you disagree with me, and you have something that you think is valuable to offer, right? And you're not just here to troll or be a shitty person, then feel free to hit that little request box, the little blue and pink people down at the bottom, and come on up here, right? You can do that. And then what we'll do is we will address what you're saying. I will bring facts and we'll see what you've got. We'll see what you're made of. And I'm respectful when I do it. So if you would like to do that, be brave, be bold, be bigger than baby carrot energy today. That's what I would offer you. Okay. So here they go. Some of these folks, bless their hearts, they just, yeah, well, I don't know what part of the commentary you don't like, because if you were neutral, you would understand that what I'm saying is neutral. Right. And again, if you don't like it, you have two choices. You can touch the screen and swoop and leave this live, or you can just go ahead and request to come up here and we can discuss what it is about my comments that you don't like. There you go. That's it. Those are the choices. The fact of the matter is that all of these individuals supported Donald Trump through a coup, through an attempted coup, right? Through all of those different things, and now they're coming out disagreeing with him over the destabilization of the Middle East by supporting Israel in this attack on Iran, right? And so I think that all of this is really important. The thing that I don't hear anyone talking about, and if you've heard somebody else talk about it, please tell me, has anybody else talked about the role that the Heritage Foundation is playing in this conflict in the Middle East and in this relationship between the United States and Israel? No, I'm not a teacher or a professor. Has anybody else been talking about the Heritage Foundation's role? Hey, Pen 1010. Because they do have a role. They do have a significant role. There are two documents that the Heritage Foundation put out. One of them is in reference to the Esther Project, and the second one is literally a plan for the U.S.-Israel strategy and their relationship between 2029 and 2047. And it's significant, and people should be aware. Who am I to educate you? Whoever I choose to be. Would you like to be educated? Do you not learn unless you're in school? So let me just ask you, who are you? Bless it. Let me just, Miss Slum. Don't mute them, folks. Don't mute or throw them away. Don't mute or boot them. Give them an opportunity. So let me say this very quickly. Miss Slum 505. Do you only learn when you are in a school setting? So you don't learn from your mama? Was your mama a teacher or a professor? Was your daddy a teacher or a professor? Was your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, were they all the people in your life, are they teachers and professors, or do you learn from everyday life experiences? Right, Shelly. Good Lord. She literally asked me, are you a teacher or a professor? I said, no. She said, well, who are you to educate us? Do you not read my damn name? I'm Dani. That's who I am. If you do not want me to educate you, if you do not want to be educated by me, leave. That's all I can tell you. And by the way, if the only way that you can learn is in a school setting, That is sad. And by the way, let me just tell you this. By the way, just because someone is a teacher or a professor does not mean they should be teaching shit. Just because someone's a teacher or a professor does not mean they should be educating anybody. Like, woo, that's just like saying just because somebody is a priest don't mean they should be in the pulpit. It does not mean that they should be doing confession and around choir boys. Like, position and title does not mean that that's the role you should be doing. Oh, sheesh. Okay. Well, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate that. Okay, so where do we start? So I think what we will do is we will start with a few clips of what these individuals have been saying with regard to Iran, Israel, and Trump, right? And then from there, we will go from there into the documents put out by the Heritage Foundation on this very subject. And kind of do all of those things. Okay. So, oh, thanks, Shanae. I appreciate that. It's just like, if you have a question for me, if you have a question of me, go ahead and request to come up. Let me see if I can help you here. I'll even put the big box. Let me see. Can you see it now? No? Okay, let me just see if I can do it for you. Look at there. Okay, so for those of you all who are having a difficult time spotting the blue and pink people at the bottom, please don't type in all caps. It's up here. All caps is reserved for moderators and those that are vision impaired, okay? All right, so here's what you can do. See that box right there that says request in the lower right-hand corner? Firefox 1204, you can just click that big ass box right there and come on and join the panel. And we can have those conversations. Because what you would just ask in the comments is a very broad statement. So, I'm going to need you to have some specificity. Okay? All right. It says guest. Fine. Guest. Come be the guest. Come be the guest. Yeah, come be the guest. I don't know what's wrong with people. Oh, don't mute automatically. Give them an opportunity, DeBoss. I see you being very, very protective today. But don't mute or boot them all, already. Don't do that. Just give them a chance. Okay, great. Good morning, Firefox. What you got for me this morning?
I just ask you if you agree with the Iran government, what they doing with the community, LGBT and then Christians, everything what they talk. Now, if Israel have a right to defend themselves.
Okay, so let me say this, because you mentioned several different things, right? You're asking about Iran and the LGBT community. Is that what you're asking me? Okay.
The way they treat the Christians, LGBT, and different ideology and different kind of attitude. Let's put it this way, they have with the West civilization,
right?
Even their own neighbors.
Right. Well, here's what I will say: is that's not the reason that Israel is supposedly. That's not the supposed reason that they're attacking Iran. Right. The reason is because they are saying that they are very close to having a nuclear weapon. Right. So that's the basis of that. Now, what I don't believe is that, number one, I don't agree with any country dehumanizing, discriminating, and oppressing a particular group of people because you don't believe in their ideology. So that's the same way that I don't agree with the United States of America and the way that they are attacking the trans community. I don't agree with that, right? I don't agree with it no matter what country it is in, right? I don't agree with, anyone attacking someone because of their religion or lack thereof, right? Which is also something that happens in the United States of America. So I don't believe that not liking the way a country handles their ideology means that it is a-okay to start firing at them with, with massive military actions and boom booms,
Well, I agree in part with you. I give you 50-50, okay? So now, we are the great countries in the whole world.
Who is?
States, believe me, United States it is. I have some experience in visiting other countries. I don't want to mention which ones. And I'm an immigrant here. And I know that. It's a fact, okay? I understand maybe you disagree. You're not perfect. We're not perfect. But compared to another country, as a just to see how the things going on the border, how many people try to get in, to come in this country, illegal or illegal, doesn't matter. They still try everything they come, okay? And the subject about Iran, they are pretty close. Or maybe they already have what they want. I'm gonna tell you right now. Iran sent to Brazil, okay, 2 warships, and the same week. Brazil is one of the few countries, and actually, to be honest with you, I think it's the only country in Latin America have a technology to develop some mass destruction device. You know what I'm talking about? And then for somehow, in the same week, this warship was in Brazil. Good quantity of the uranium disappeared. As was a big problem, and they figured out that like a few weeks later, the uranium was pretty close to be used, disappeared. Nobody know what it is, and that's what you can Google. See, I think in 2021, 2022, they received also Brazil received 2 cargo military airplane, and so they figured out that now some weapons went to Gaza, because the Brazilian government helped to do that. So you can Google that, see how the thing is going.
But so this is my question. So I think, well, so a couple of things. So there's a couple of things in your statement that I'm going to take issue with. And the first is that the verbiage that you're choosing is you're saying, I'm going to tell you that America is the best country in the world. And you're an immigrant here. And what I will tell you is that as a citizen born and raised in this country my entire life, who also served in the military and has been to countries around the world, an opinion about America being the greatest country in the world is exactly that. It's an opinion. And you would need that opinion to be based on different things, right? And so I think it's important for people to specify what you're talking about when you talk about the greatest country in the world. Because if you say that we're the greatest, are we the greatest in education? The answer is no, we are not. Are we the greatest in healthcare? The answer is no, we are not. Right? Are we the greatest in even democracy? Depends on who you are, right? Because different groups of people are experiencing this country in a different way. And so I think when you say that as a blanket statement, yeah, we're definitely not the greatest when it comes to infrastructure, right? So when you say America is the greatest country in the world, could you tell me on what you are basing that?
Okay, let's do the education. We used to be the best one. I agree with you. You're way, way low. Why? Because the policies, some states change the policy. They change everything around to make it easy to any student to go to get a high school diploma. That's not supposed to be. It's you don't have to change the education system. Listen what you follow right now. We follow something Rockefeller education system. You should have changed that. You have to change look at the beginning. Math, we are the worst one in math. I agree with you. You should have put way much better. But
and
you're
so,
not.
but
I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Look what China does. China does physical activity, does everything. I'm going to go one of those classic examples, okay? And then when you try to do something here, some bimbo politician come and say, oh, no, that's no good because it's going to affect the kids. They take a right to the teachers, the professors. The teachers in school cannot say straight to the kid, hey, you need to learn. Because some officials have a little share and school board. It say, oh, no, you cannot do that. Why not? It's another thing. Okay, like healthcare. I agree with you. We have a problem in healthcare. The Obamacare doesn't help at all.
Okay,
what
so
we need to create a system. Okay, you're gonna have a kid. Okay, create I don't know, save account for your kid, and then come from your paycheck. And this money is going to be used only for health issues you have in your life. And when your kids start working, they just transfer this account for that. You can track by Social Security or any number they can come an idea. But that's the thing is, I mean, I'm saying, think about it. If you go to your kids, your children for the hospital, you didn't have money enough in this account. They will have the same treatment. Okay, you're gonna have the same care the another person has the money. The only thing is, whatever gonna go in this account, they're gonna take away to pay off this bill. Listen, this is supposed to be why healthcare is so expensive right now. Because the lawsuit the doctors get it, the hospitals get it, everything. We know that, and everything coming is more about money. Specific as that. You gotta change it. We have to change your attitude with others to improve ourselves. Why everybody? Listen, I used to deliver and some merchandises where my previous job, and I see people coming, cut off me and break check because they wanna go over the company I was working. This is the kind of mentality we have here right now. Take advantage of everything they can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I want to address a couple of things that you said. Okay. Because what's interesting is that the very first thing that you said is that America is the greatest country in the world. And then I point out that we are not the greatest in terms of education, in terms of healthcare, in terms of infrastructure. And immediately you agree with me and say we're not the greatest. And then you start to point out all of these reasons you believe we're not the greatest and what we need to do. And so I think the first thing that I'm noticing is that I'm not sure whether you think we are the greatest or we're not the greatest or what that is based on, right? And so the next thing that I would say, because the first thing that you said is that Obamacare doesn't work or hasn't changed anything. I vehemently disagree, and I will tell you why. There are millions upon millions of Americans in this country that now have health insurance that were not able to get it previously, right? Before we had the Affordable Care Act, which is the proper name for Obamacare, before we had the Affordable Care Act, if you had a single pre-existing condition, which could include as simply just being pregnant, right? You could not get health insurance in this country. So the fact that you don't think that the Affordable Care Act has benefited anybody tells me that you don't know a lot about the Affordable Care Act and what it has done and how many people now have the ability to see physicians, see doctors, get preventative care, catch things much earlier than they previously could, and actually have a primary care physician and get the care that they needed. So you and I will disagree about the benefits of the Affordable Care Act. And I disagree from a factual standpoint in terms of the number of people that now have access to the affordable access to healthcare that would never have gotten it otherwise, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that I will say is that the Affordable Care Act has actually kept hospitals from closing throughout this country. If we did not have the Affordable Care Act, which reimburses Medicaid at a rate of 90 cents for every dollar the state spends, states would still be collecting 50 to 75 cents per every dollar, which is traditional Medicaid. And those states would be absolutely devastated, right? And we would continue to see even more hospitals close than we currently do. Okay, so that we just disagree when it comes to that. When it comes to education, education is not about people saying that we can't tell children they need to learn because it will hurt them. No, The reason that we have an issue with education is because the United States of America does not prioritize properly funding education. So, in other countries of the world, university is free. It is not the case here in the United States of America, right? In the United States of America, if you are in a poor town or a marginalized community, then you're going to have a lower education system because your property taxes and things like that determine the ability you have to provide high quality teachers, to attract those teachers with higher wages, to have more schools with more resources, all of those things, right? So it is not us saying, oh, don't tell children that they need to learn. That's not the problem. The problem is we are a country that continuously puts corporations and billionaires above its average people. And that is the problem with this country. Now, just a minute ago, you mentioned China and you talked about China with regard to education. But when you started this conversation, you asked me specifically about Iran and its treatment of LGBTQ people and of Christian people. And so while you're bragging on China with regard to its education, I'm wondering if you're familiar with China's human rights violations. Because the State Department's, and I'm on their website right now, the State Department's 2024 report says, and this is just one excerpt, Hong Kong authorities arrested and prosecuted people for peaceful political expression critical of the local and central governments, including for posting and forwarding social media posts. Hong Kong and PRC authorities continue to target civil society groups, activists, media companies, and journalists, political parties, labor unions, academics, student groups, and other people and organizations that the government accused of being connected to Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement or otherwise critical of the local or central government. Hong Kong authorities undermined media freedom by continuing the prosecutions of journalists and restricting access to information. So when you say to me that I'm going to celebrate China for their education, but then I'm not going to pay attention to.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want you to celebrate that. Try to understand what I may explain to you what I'm going to say about China education system. I agree with you. Okay, China violated every single human right. If you put the list on a list, top to the bottom, he violated every single day, every single time. I agree with you. No, let me clarify this. What I said. What I'm saying is the children, the kids, they learning how to skills at the beginning. Okay, let's change for Japan. Japan, the kids from 5 years, 7 years old, they only want to clean their own school, their own class, the classmates coming and fix it, clean everything. That's not about the concept they have. You have to have an interest in what you're doing. I have my personal policy. No matter what you're doing the best you can. You can sweep the floor, or you can be a CEO of the company, do the best you can. You have something, love, interest in what you're doing, because that's the way everybody should do. I don't criticize if your person don't have enough interest, but the concept about we need the children in this country have first of all, proper education doesn't mean only as a physical and mentally, and it's about a little bit everything. Education, how to be polite with another one, but at the same time stand up for yourself, and having acknowledge how the stock market works. Because if you go to high school, ask them the high school graduate, they don't know how the stock market works. They don't know what's mean credit. They don't know how the energy market works. So that's what I'm talking about. I to be honest with you, I don't like China at all. I have a few people I know from China. For fact, they told me they have been through this whole many things. So I have no idea.
Right. Well, all I'm saying is you said look at China and what they do with their children, right?
No,
and
yeah,
so.
Maybe I misexpress myself. I'm sorry, but the thing is, we need to figure out how much you spend in the school system, education system in national. It's amazing. You spend more money. Some countries have better school systems than us, and we're still struggling.
Do you have children? Do you have children?
Yeah, she's in the college right now. Yeah,
she's in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, we provide for her the best you can, but you force she learning. We force it. She have a book. even before she can read, we put a book on her hands just to have a concept.
Right. And that's parenting, though. And so I think the thing that we need to talk about, though, is the difference between parenting versus what your schools are supposed to teach.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
So I think that that's an important distinction to make, because when you are not paying teachers an actual living wage, don't expect them to be your children's their parents, their secondary parents, their school psychologist, their chef, because they're not being fed at home. So listen, when you talk about education, it's not the education system.
I know it's much complex what we discussed here. I understand that. I understand your point, and I agree with your point. So, but we have to really realize the thing: the system doesn't work right for now.
The system
it's against us.
But that's my point. So
right.
That's my point, because guess what? The system isn't broken. What you have to understand is that our systems are working exactly as they were designed. So our systems in this country were designed by and for rich white men. And that's
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I have to disagree with you at this point. Okay, so we got to figure out one thing. The school board, when the parents go into the school board, they have a label like a terrorist, domestic terrorist. How this can be possible?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, because you interrupted.
That's what happened.
Right, but you interrupted, and here's my question to you. You said that the United States of America was not made for, the systems were not made by and for rich white men. And what I would like you to tell me how that is not correct.
Because look at the school boards that we have right now here in this country. They have a diversity. They have
no, we don't.
Every single different background. Look at the teachers. Look at the school teacher union.
Okay, I got you. Hold on.
Maybe I'm telling right now. Maybe some past, like I told you,
nope.
we made a mistake as a country. Of course, we made a mistake because we are afraid the Soviet Union is gonna come here and drop.
Excuse me, Firefox. Hold on. Excuse me. I need to share this with you. Okay, the 118th Congress, 78% of the lawmakers are white. 78% of the people who make our laws. The laws are what make our systems. Yeah, right? So when you make healthcare laws, hold on. When you make healthcare laws, when you make education laws, when you make any of those laws, they are going to be made through the lens of the people and the experience of the people that are making those laws. So when 78% of them are white, yes, sir. When I tell you that this country and our systems were made by and for rich white men, I will tell you that, because the other thing that you do is you can say how much of Congress is made up of males. Guess what that number is? It is also, hold on a second, I'll tell you the new one, because we did come up a little bit. We did come up a little bit. So we did get a few women up in there. But we are still sitting at 71.8%. So when 78%, hold on, when 78% of Congress are white and 72% of Congress are men, you cannot tell me that our systems are not made by and for rich white men, just like the Constitution was. What?
Who's voted for these people?
Well, we can talk about that too. Tell me what you know about gerrymandering.
That's the point.
Firefox. Hold on, listen.
Okay.
What do you know about gerrymandering?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell it's not my Congress district.
Okay. Well, then, if you don't have gerrymandering in your district, you're lucky, because I can tell you a number of states that have actually had court cases go to the Supreme Court because of gerrymandering, and the Supreme Court say you all cannot use this map because this map keeps Black people from voting. This map keeps poor people from voting. It is a fact. Ohio just had a damn law put in place to prevent gerrymandering in that state because it was the most gerrymandered state in the country. So when you chuckle about those things, that chuckle comes from a place of privilege, because you've never had to experience being gerrymandered and had it impact you. So those of us who have, we don't find it fucking funny.
what do I say to you? Like I told you, we are the great country, the greatest country in the world. I'm sure we are now, and different to what you believe. I do respect to your opinion, your point of view, but I have disagree with that. Okay.
What do you disagree with?
We have something in common. You need the system need to be changed. Something need to be changed. What I said to you, a lot of people they complain, but they don't become part of the solution. It's always what I say: never divide. Always come to the add. Add something good to that. We have to realize one thing. Right now, the country is divided. Oh, you are Trump. You're not a Trump. Okay, let me put this way. Okay, I have a good friend. I call he's my brother. He's my brother. We have same kind of opinion like you. We discuss all day pretty much. Now, when we have a time. But I'm telling you now, we need to stop pointing fingers to one to another. We need to sit down and realize what exactly we going to do in our future of this country. The future of this country affect the whole world. I'm telling right now. That's it is. Restriction on the report card. Okay, I don't know.
What's this? What is this?
Okay, I see.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Do you believe that Princeton University is a good college?
I don't have opportunity to be in a college here. Okay?
No, but I'm asking you, do you think that Princeton, right, where some of the top people in this country go to school, is a good university?
I understand your question, but I cannot give the answer because I'm not aware there's 100% what this thing of this.
I got you. Well, this is an entire project.
Okay, go ahead.
This is an entire project that they keep doing. And this is like the newest one that they have, right? And so they go and it changes, and it will tell you which parts pass and which parts don't, and where the advantages are for each of them in the states, right?
Okay.
See that? And so this is the kind of stuff, and it will also tell you if it is racially based or what it is. And so there's so like North Carolina, the House, but this is 2023. So competitiveness is an F. That's when you gerrymander it to where you don't have enough of a different party that can actually vote and make a difference in that particular state. So when you say to me that gerrymandering is not a thing, or that or you chuckled and said you haven't experienced it, and then you just dismissed what I said to you, that dismissal is one of the problems that we have. And I'll tell you what I mean. You keep saying we need to stop pointing the fingers, but let me just tell you something. When I tell you a fact-based experience that I have, and then you dismiss it as if it's not relevant, then you and I are no longer on the same sheet of music, because you are telling me that my experiences don't matter to you. And if my experiences, yes, I'm telling you, can't tell me how it feels, because I am actually telling you, I can name for you states that their maps that are being designed by their legislators are specifically and intentionally being drawn to ensure that a certain percentage of minorities are not able to vote, or their votes won't have significant impact in their elections. And I'm telling you that like it's a real thing, right? And you went, okay, well, I haven't experienced it, but we need to stop pointing fingers. You just skimmed right on over it, right? And that's not a cool thing to do, because if you do not take the time to understand exactly what is happening, then your opinion.
That's one of the subjects. I'm telling you, the only way you can change it, think the community get involved. They know who is your commissioner is, who know who is your mayor is, and get affected. That's I believe. Okay, what you people like to do it, they hang around and listen music and do something not supposed to do it. You know what I mean? So you have to again, education is essential for every single human being. Okay, it's a right. You have a right to have education available for them, if each individual in this country. But what kind of education we're gonna have for futures? We need to change that. The only way we can change that, like I told you, give acknowledgement, give information, and move on. Don't radicalize everything, every single person. Right now, we have totally look what happened. I love the First Amendment. I think every single man, every single person, when I say man, please don't take me wrong, I generalize and say every single person have a right to speak up for yourself and for the others. But that's the way you speak up. That's the way you come out. Destroy everything, go around, and vandalism.
That's the way who comes off.
No. I do believe in First Amendment. I think
wait. You said that's the way that you come off, and I'm trying to. I'm wondering who was you? Because I haven't said. Because hold on, ha. Okay, listen. Here's the thing, right? We're gonna push pause right there because I haven't said a thing about protesting. We haven't even had that discussion, right? That is not. Wait, stop interrupting. I haven't said a thing about that. Nothing. And you came out with you come off like as if that's anything that I've said. So what I'm going to ask you, who the fuck is you? Yeah, that's the first question I'm going to ask you.
Don't.
I'm not don't nothing. I'm asking a question. Who is you?
I'm a person.
No, but you were talking to me. You said you come off like, nope. Listen, Firefox, this is where, so I don't know like where you're used to going to talk, right? But there's a couple of things that you said just now. You said the whole you people like to do da-da-da-da-da. Stop interrupting me. Nope, stop interrupting.
No.
Whether it is, so listen, you said these people, and then you turned around and you said, you come off like. That's what you said.
No.
Yes, you did.
I misspeak with you, or I misunderstand, or you misunderstand.
Okay, well, try it again, because I didn't misunderstand anything.
This kind of people.
Who?
This kind of
so tell me who the people are. What people? What people?
Sorry?
What people? When you say these kind of people, who are you talking about?
What happened in LA?
No, I'm not even talking about LA. We were talking about.
What I'm saying to you, what happened in LA is the consequences the education system.
No, it's not.
That's what I try to connect to the situation.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna pause you for just a second. Okay. Yes, because what happened in LA is the result of a regime and administration that would like to be fascist and that is actually violating immigration law. So if you are not familiar with our immigration laws in this country, and if you are not familiar with Title 10, if you are not familiar with any of those things, right, then you might want to do that before you come and talk to me about what happened in LA. Do you live in LA?
No, thank God.
Okay, my daughter lives in LA.
She's
okay.
She's doing okay?
Yeah, she's perfect. Why wouldn't she be? LA, there's nothing. Listen, LA is calm and when I tell you that LA, like it's literally a little 4-mile radius where anything has happened, and it's like literally, it is that's how small it is.
So I can't tell too much LA because I never been there, and I don't have interest with that, and I was there with everything I have. The information was the life. This individual was at the time, during the time, and they have a total destroyed. It looked like they destroyed the whole city. The whole city has been destroyed by.
Do you know how big LA is?
No, I never been LA. I know we have I know it's big, but I never been LA. I cannot say for my but what I saw, everything that happened, based everything, the different lives that we have at the time. I saw everything was out of control.
But it's not. And here's my thing: LA is almost 500 square miles. That's how big it is. And I just told you that it is maximum, it's a 4-mile radius in where things are happening. So we're talking less than 1% of LA.
Okay.
Less than 1%. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so this is my thing, right? So this is the thing that bothers me when you say you didn't know that. My point is that the information, if you want it, 4 block radius, thanks, Sarah. But the bottom line is the information is there if you want to know about it. And the reality is simply this: we have seen worse after sports games in Philly, in Chicago, in Kentucky, in LA. We have seen more destruction, more shit set on fire, more light poles climbed. Do you know that they literally have to grease the light poles after sports celebration to keep people from climbing them in the United States of America? And especially after soccer games. So when people want to talk to me about one single car on fire or some damn graffiti, I want people to shut up, because in contrast to that, we are literally talking about people being kidnapped off the streets of the United States by people in masks without warrants, without things that are signed by a judge, simply based on the color of their skin. Some of them even citizens. So I don't give a shit about a car that is on fire. I give a shit about human beings that are being kidnapped by the United States government, supposedly the greatest country in the world, violating their civil rights and without due process. That's what I care about.
Do you think that this situation should be avoided if you don't have open borders?
We don't have open borders. What do you know about immigration law?
Right now, no.
No, we haven't had immigration borders ever. We haven't had immigration border. Okay, so let's talk. Can you tell me what Title 8 is?
No, because I don't.
No, because you're quoting shit, but you don't know the facts.
No, because I'm telling right now. I know if you want to talk immigration situation, it's different than immigration law. Okay.
Oh no, I can talk both.
More you have more knowledge than me.
I got you.
In this subject, because probably you know, because I never have interest to do that. So that's the reason.
But here's the problem that I have. You are literally saying to me.
Okay, let me
wait. Hold on, please. Hold on.
I just have a few minutes, but I'm gonna spend it with you.
Yeah, because hold on, because here are the things that bother me. So, do you know the difference between immigration encounters and immigration being admitted? Do you know the difference?
No, right now. Hold on. Let me.
So let me ask you a question. I'm
gonna try to Google. I'm gonna try to search it here too.
Oh, you don't have to. I'm gonna pull it up and show it to you. I'm on the Customs and Border Patrol website. I got you. You don't have to work hard. I've done all the work for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got you. No problem. So let me explain something to you. This was Donald Trump's first year as president, correct?
Uh-huh.
And we had 526,901 encounters at the southern border, right? His second year, right? Yeah, this is official. I'm at Customs and Border Patrol website.
I know official because a lot of people try to avoid the immigration.
Okay, but hold on. We're gonna just hold on. Stay with me. So the next year, that number went up, right? So this number got even higher than his first year. Well, if low numbers are great, why did the numbers damn near double by his third year? Right? Why did his numbers double from year 1 to year 3? Because you would think that after 2 years on the job, he'd be doing better if low numbers are good.
Okay, do you remember do you remember the issues? A lot of problem. He have to build a defense, to build the wall.
No, sir, that's not.
They have a lot of problem. He have to go to the defense budget to build the wall.
So this is my point to you. By his third year, are you telling me that less people got in before we had a wall, and that after he built a wall, we had more people?
No, he didn't never build.
No. Do you want to know why this is? Can I tell you why this is? Because this is actually something I know quite a lot about. Okay. So first of all, high numbers are actually a good thing. And here's the reason why. A high number means that we are actually encountering them. If we're not encountering them, they may begin into the country without being caught. High numbers mean we actually got them.
I understand that.
Okay, so follow me. So when Joe Biden has high numbers, why is Trump telling them we have open borders? No, it means we are encountering them at the border after the border was closed because of C-19. Now, the other thing to understand is we had something called Operation Stone Garden, which I'm sure you're not familiar with. But Operation Stone Garden is a grant program that was given out for, hold on. I'm trying to reach around my phone to type. So Stone Garden is a program that we allocated money to the Department of Homeland Security and to Border Patrol to hire more agents. And guess what? What we found is there was an investigation that was done in 2019, and they discovered that the money wasn't being used appropriately. And so guess what? It had an increase after they did it. And that's why we started encountering more people. Imagine that. The money that Congress allocated was not being spent for proper border enforcement under the Trump administration during his first 2 years. Once Congress did an investigation into that, and then they required that the money be spent properly, all of a sudden, we were encountering more people at the border the way that we should be. So that is the difference for these numbers. We do not, nor have we ever had, open borders. We do not have 20 million people that came here under the Biden administration. Do you want to know how I know? Because that would be having like a whole nother damn California. No, we don't have that many. We have approximately 13 million undocumented immigrants. And guess what? 8.8 million of them got here before 2010. And I can show you that as well. So here's what's beautiful. If you go to the Department of Homeland Security and you do their, unauthorized immigrant status report. This is the report that came out last 2024. So this came out in August of 2024. I want the full, and it goes from 18. Hold on. I don't want statistics. I want the report. I want unauthorized. And so this report comes out, and what they do is immigrant report. And it's going to go, these numbers are going to go from 2018 to 2022, right? So when you go to this report, here we go. It's a beautiful thing. See that? This is from the Office of Homeland Security, right? And here's what's great. When you actually go down here, the first thing that is beautiful is that you actually learn what an unauthorized immigrant is. Because it doesn't mean that they are here illegally and somehow they just jumped the border and walked the hell in. That's not what it means. Guess what? People that are included in the unauthorized immigrant definition includes people that are DACA, which is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. There are people who are awaiting court proceedings, people that are here for other forms of prosecutorial discretion, people that are awaiting removal proceedings, people that are waiting for an adjustment in their actual resident status. All of those people get counted as unauthorized immigrants. It's not the same thing. It doesn't mean they are all illegal. And the beautiful thing is, this is my favorite part of this damn document, and I'm even going to make it larger so that you can see it. So when you look at this little box right here, it tells you the year, and it tells you how many came since 2010. Only 2.3 million. Guess what? 8.8 million, because we had 11 million in 2022, right?
Okay.
Now we have 13. So, but before we had, look, so you do the math, 1.5 plus 3.4 plus 3.9. You're going to get right at 8.8 million people. So the majority of immigrants that we have in this country arrived here more than 15 years ago. We do not have open borders.
So that means everybody has been deported. by President Trump have been deported by under the previous administration.
What are you talking about? What?
When they want to get a deport, they want to get deport back to for the countries. Is they already have orders to be deported, right?
No, that's no. And I'm going to tell you,
I'm confused right now.
And I'm going to tell you how you know the answer to that question is no. Okay. The answer is no, because if that were the case, right, they would be showing up with signed warrants and they would have no need to go get them. Yes, Richard Cope, I have a potty mouth. If you don't like my fucking mouth, then you just can leave and not listen to it. That's the way it works, right? I'm a grown woman. I definitely don't. You're not my daddy. You're not any of those things. None of it, right? So if this language is not pleasing to you, you just can simply just keep fucking scrolling. That's the beauty of freedom of speech. I can't. The fucking sexism, I can't take it. Like, literally, go talk to, do you have like children or grandchildren to go talk to? The audacity that you think you can come in here and say to a grown ass woman, potty mouth. Who are you talking to? I'm not 3. I am not 3.
Okay.
Absolutely crazy. So anyway, sorry, that was over here in Facebook world.
No. I will never criticize you to be you.
Yeah. So here's my thing.
Criticize anybody to be what they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Believe me.
So here's my point, though. Do you understand? Here's the point. The reason why I get frustrated is because you came in here making lots of claims, right? And I can literally pull up documentation and facts and show you that the claims that you're reciting aren't accurate.
Okay, maybe not be accurate. Maybe not be as 100% accurate. Let's put this way. But is something that should be done? Okay, we know we need it under control. Right now, we have a situation. You know, let me put it this way. Okay, you want the military? You know what we're talking about. You know, Iran sent to Venezuela many individuals to training to speak Spanish perfect with Venezuelan accent and try to come here. So what you have in the situation right now, based what they don't want to let you know that, okay? But how I know that, because I have a few people, Venezuelans, I know they are friends, they co-workers, and they tell me this happening. And why these people come here? Why so many individuals, Chinese and Iranians? Why they come here? What's the main goal for that? We have to agree on one thing. We need to fix a lot of things, and it's not impossible to fix everything in a short period of time. It will be possible to make everybody happy. It will be impossible to have a perfect system. I agree with that. There's a point out so your points. I agree with that. Okay, I can classify myself as a conservative, but I agree some points. We need some change. You need something to be better than you are now, or you have been in the past. You cannot change the past, but you can move back. But radicalize and go destroy, and that's not on the way. You need to sit down, like me and you, and discuss the situation, get informed, get information, search for that, and get at some point. And me and you, we can at least agree at some point.
Okay, so the question that I have for you, right? So if we walk through the things that we've discussed since you joined the panel, the very first thing that you said was that America was the greatest country in the world.
I'm sorry, that's one of the points you went to. I agree. America is the greatest country in the world. Why everybody want to come here?
Okay, so let's talk about that. So when we talk about, well, why did you want to come here? Why did you want to come here?
I don't want to be rude to you at all. That's not my goal here. My goal, I don't want to change you. I just try to understand your point of view, and I hope you understand my point of view. You have disagreement that you're gonna have. I mean, I like blue, maybe you like red, and that's one of those points. Okay. The point is, if this country is so worse, why everybody around the world, Africans, Europeans, the rest of the American continent, Asians, how come you want to come here?
Why did you want to come here?
if I tell my story, it's gonna be kind of funny for you. I come here for one reason, to get a better life, to get something.
So you came here on a visa?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get your visa?
Oh my God! You're talking about 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. Yeah, it took a while. No much longer than I expect. No less than I was. They told me. Okay, so gosh, it took a while. It took a while. It took a long, probably almost 3 years, more or less.
Okay, so 3 years. Okay, and what kind of visa did you come on?
I come illegally. I come with everything. My green card, everything.
No, but I'm asking, what type of visa did you come here on? Right? Did you come here on an H-1B visa? Did you come here on a K visa? What did you come here on?
When I come already a green card holder.
How'd you get a green card?
Yeah, I didn't have a visa. Now, when you apply,
how did you get a green card? Never having been to America.
I prefer not discuss this. I prefer not discuss that. It was something situation. I married a person as a citizen.
Yeah. So you married, and are you still married now?
No, I was 12 years married with her.
Gotcha.
We got a beautiful child. It's a long story.
I got it. So you got.
It was almost 13 years of me and Vita together, and then it was a real love. To be honest with you, it was a real love. And then I left a lot of things for this relationship. But anyway, I'm not gonna take a decision. But I'm telling.
Right. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing that is different, Firefox, between what you are describing to me and what many of the people that are coming to the southern border are experiencing. Okay. So they're not coming to the country, quote unquote, just for a better life, because you can't do that, right? That's like, we don't have an immigration pathway that says for a better life, right? We don't have that. And so when people are coming to this country, you said, why do people want to come here? That's an easy answer.
Sorry, when I say better life, it's more general, specific. Okay, so in my case, it was different situation. Many people, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Okay, but that's my beginning question. We are going to country. Really, I know we maybe have different opinions about the situation. I truly understand your point of view.
I don't have different opinions. I just have different facts. Like, that's the thing. I don't have different opinions. I have different facts. And that's the thing that's important that everybody understands, right? Is you came in with lots and lots of opinions. I met those opinions. Hold on, please don't interrupt. I met those opinions with fact. So it's not that you and I are agreeing to disagree or we have differences of opinion. No, you have opinions and I have facts. And that's the difference between the two of us. It really is. Like, that's the difference, because everything that I have said to you, I have been able to pull up and show you as fact, right? Can we agree on that?
You talk to that we're gonna have a different. Okay, you show me something I didn't have. Acknowledge that. I agree with that. It is a fact. So why you say, oh, you don't understand the visa? No, I don't understand this visa because I come see different situation. I would be dishonest with you if I wasn't what I know. But the point is this thing. I'm really. I mean, it's almost 1 o'clock. I should be already do something 1 o'clock. Anyway, but I'm telling right now. I do respect your opinion, your facts you show me, and the way you talk. Of course, I need to learn more. I'm gonna go over the thing, but I'm telling you, it's when I say opinion, it's based what I see, what I have my life. I have been here. I improved myself so many times, so many things I have done. I have been in so many situations in my life, my personal life, and the only situation, the only country I believe you can succeed nothing for something is here, is still here. They want to change that, okay? They want to change that, but they don't want to change because of the roads this country.
Okay, so let me let me share something with you, okay?
Go ahead.
So here's the things that are different. When we talk about why people come to this country, there are pull factors and there are push factors. Okay. Push factors are things that are happening in their country that are pushing them to leave. And it takes a lot. You just said out of your own mouth, I left a lot to come here for that relationship, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so those people are leaving a lot, not for a relationship, but for life. Those
I understand
people,
that.
hold on, those people are coming from countries that often don't have economic stability. They don't have political stability. They may be targeted for a bunch of different reasons. All of those things are happening, and they're not getting on a plane and flying here. They are literally walking, starving, crawling, dragging as much as they can hold, which is typically their children, to get here for the hopes of meeting the legal standard in order to enter this country, right? And so I think the difference is that you have a very privileged experience of our immigration system. Hold on, listen. Let me finish the sentence. I said you have a very privileged experience of our immigration system, right? Getting a visa, a green card, coming over here on a plane because you've married someone, that is a privileged experience of immigration, because many people do not get that. Many people come here and it takes $20,000 and 10 years to even get close to where you are. Many people get here and they get turned away and demonized. And so when I say you had a privileged experience of immigration, I think that that's a relatively accurate description of your experience of immigration. I think the thing that you're not taking into account is that when you are not born and raised in this country, and it is different. When you come here, you're already established. You're bringing the money from your country here with you. You're bringing all of those other things, and you don't have anything generational that is impacting you, right? So you're not coming in here where you have a family that already has its other issues. You're not coming here where your family has already been marginalized or that is already existing in poverty. You're not coming here where you have been raised in a home where you are taking care of two or three other kids that are part of your family because your mother's working two jobs. So therefore, your access to opportunities is different than the level of access other people in this country have. And you are judging those people.
No,
Those people, hold on, you did, because here you did this whole time you've judged. You said they want to sit around and listen to music. They want to sit around and do this, and they don't want to get an education. And I've done this. You are in fact judging them. And here's my thing. Let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
You are in fact judging those people because of what you said. I'm not assuming that about you. I have listened to you. And that is why I'm making the analysis that I am right now. And my thing is, you are sitting back judging people that you know nothing about, that you don't know anything about their experience. You have, like, you literally are judging them from your very privileged experience of this country. And it is not the same thing.
So I'm sorry, I disagree with you.
You can.
Anybody else, okay? And I'm when I say I left everything because my family was there, my mother was there. That's what I'm talking about.
And so is their mother, and so is their family.
So I understand that. I understand that. It's just the bottom line is, if you come to United States, come straight away. If you come to provide a grown in education, your personal life, and you everything you have, is be welcome.
Okay, so let me just explain this. First, as an American,
sorry,
let me.
No, because I need to leave right now.
I know, but let me just say this. As an American citizen, you really can't tell me how people need to come here. Like, I'm an American citizen. You can't really say how people need to come here.
No. Okay.
Lilo, B.
The Venezuela gang.
No. We're not doing that.
Okay.
Listen, dude, they are literally sitting at the courthouse and they are arresting people who are coming for their legal appointments. So I do not want to, I'm not doing that with you, because there are people who have come here the right way. There are people who have come here legally. There are people, do you know that just this past week, a woman was escorted to her immigration hearing by her two sons that are in the National Guard, because they are afraid that she's going to be deported. Period.
I saw the thing. I saw.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear about the legal way, the right way. I just don't. And I damn sure don't want to hear about it any.
I make a statement, I make a comment. I also say I want to thank you for both you guys to serve your country. Thank you for everything. You must do that. You must. I totally, to be honest with you, I agree what they have done. Okay. So, but unfortunately, we can continue my conversation with you, my discussion with you.
You're welcome back anytime.
Pleasure. I hope you can match some soon. And I really enjoy discussing with you. And based what you said, everything you told me, I'm going to search for something. I'll make a few notes.
Well, let me tell you this. I want to give you an easy way to get it. Okay. So if you go to my TikTok profile, right? Okay. I have a link tree that's there. And about the third link down, it says political material /resources. If you click that Google Drive, there's a whole immigration document in there where you can look up all the laws. You can look up all the stats and statistics I've given you. All of the information is there, readily available if you want to take the time to read it. And if you want to do that and then come back, you're welcome to do that.
Okay, yeah, I probably do. But right now, really late.
Yep.
Okay.
See you later.
Have a great weekend, and I don't know. God bless you. God bless what you're doing, and don't worry about what people think.
I never do.
Live your life the best you can, and that's it is. All right. Have a great day.
You too. See you later. Okay. Deep breaths, people. Deep breaths. I'm going to bring up a couple of other folks that have requested to come up. When I bring you up, please do me a favor and put yourself on mute until I can get to you. On mute until I get to you, please. Now, a couple of things for folks, just so that everyone knows, if you have never ever been in one of my lives before, we are free to have, thank you guys, we are free to have conversation, discussions, discourse, whatever, right? We're just going to do it respectfully. Things can get passionate. That's fine. As long as they don't get, name calling and disrespectful and all of those things. Okay. So give me 1 second to hydrate for a moment. Okay, so for the folks who are new to this space, I want to just kind of let you know a couple of things. I only have 4 guidelines here. They are that you be respectful, do not use slurs, do not spam my comments, and do not type in all caps, because all caps is reserved for my moderators and my folks that are vision impaired. That's it. Okay. All right. June 23. Good afternoon. What you got for me? June 23, I'm going to send you an invite to unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Hi, good afternoon. I think it's afternoon now.
It is.
So I was born and raised in Jamaica and living here in the United States. And let me tell you something. What I do not hear a lot of people talking about is how America has destabilized many of the countries that are coming here.
Yep.
I don't hear much people saying that.
They do.
America is stealing from these countries.
Yep.
And they also set up leaders in the countries that we live in to make sure the people stay poor and uneducated and unhealthy.
Yep.
And then you now get angry. No, the border was never an issue before until this man came and spoke about it. Nobody cared about it all these years. And the level of hypocrisy that I see displaying, it's just this, I don't know if I can say that word, but it's not good. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
when America begins to take their noses and mouth out of other people's country, migration will go down.
Yep, 100%.
It will go down.
Yep.
Please tell these people.
So we talk about that.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, we talk about that here, right? So you want to talk about Venezuela? It's a perfect example. You want to talk about, like, there's a ton of information out there that will tell people exactly what you're talking about. We've done it in Haiti. We've done it in Venezuela. I mean, you can go all the way back, right? And talk about things that we've done in the Middle East, things that we've done in Guatemala. And so what they do is they create, a lot of times, a push factor in other countries where they destabilize it, where they ruin, the economy or the political leadership or whatever they do. And then when those people now want to flee here, then there's a complaint because they want to come here, but you're the reason that they can't be at home. It's 100% something that the United States does a ton. Yep.
In our country, we would like to be back home because we like our authentic food, especially in Jamaica. We like our food, we like our stuff. But America keeps meddling in stuff where Jamaica is concerned. And if you do a little research, you'll see that too. They don't mind their own business.
Yep, 100%.
Don't.
People don't like it.
Now you want to say to the people when they come here, yeah.
Yeah, people don't like it when you say that. But here's what people don't understand. And I'm a veteran, right? But here's what people don't understand. To me, to actually truly love your country or to truly be a patriot means that you are willing to hold your country accountable for the rank shit it does. Like, when we're wrong, we're just wrong. And we've got to be able to say that. But it is a leftover portion of colonization, right? Europeans, the West, that is what they predominantly have done in many, many, many Black and brown countries. And then still their resources too.
One more thing I'm going to show you.
Oh, you're breaking up. You've only got one bar.
They make it harder for her. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit because you've only got like one bar.
No, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. Yep, I can hear you now.
So, okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, another thing I want to also point out, about America is not a bad country. It's a good country. But we need to also remember that
Dang. June 23, I can't hear you. You're gonna have to get to a better place and then come back up. Get to a better place and then come back up because we can't hear you. You're cutting in and out really badly. So let me go ahead and share this with you. So I pulled this up because I wanted to find this article. It was written in 2019 by Representative Jim McGovern, right? I know. So I'm going to see if I can read this to you while she comes back. Okay. So just give her a chance, Cassie, for her to come back. So I want to tell you this. So here's what it says. U.S. intervention helped destabilize Central America. Now we have a moral obligation to help. So America has a moral obligation to help those who flee the conditions created by our own foreign policy decisions. This was written by Representative Jim McGovern. And this is what he said. I don't know if I'm going to read this whole thing. It's long as hell, but I'll put it in the link tree. And I know I owe y'all things in the link tree. I know that I do. But let me kind of give you a little bit of it. So he says, listen, my first visit to El Salvador was in the early 1980s. And he said, I saw firsthand how the United States government supported the brutality of the Salvadorian government and military towards its own people. I discovered we were an apologist for a military that unalived 1,000 people, including scores of children, at and around a village called El Mazote. I learned that during the 12-year Civil War, over 75,000 civilians were unalived, and an unknown number, likely in the thousands, were forcibly disappeared, mainly at the hands of state actors. Like, this is a representative that is talking about these things. And he wrote this on Medium. If you're medium.com is kind of like Substack, but not as popular, right? And he says, and towards the end of that conflict, I watched as some of the highest officials of my country conferred medals on the Salvadorian military officers, even after we knew they had given the orders to unalive 6 Jesuit priests and 2 women, including the rector and faculty members of the University of Central America. He says, over the past 35 years, I have returned to El Salvador many times and traveled throughout the region, including in Honduras and Guatemala. I have learned that to make, it was not the medium shade, it was honest. I have learned that to make the best policy decisions and investments in U.S. aid, we need to confront and learn from our own history and mistakes. Remember, this is a representative, Jim McGovern, saying this. And he says, under Republican and Democratic administrations alike, the U.S. has made bad judgments and miscalculations that have had real and adverse consequences in the lives of real people. And he goes on to talk about the things that he listed. So like, listen at this. And this is a quote from Representative Jim McGovern. He says, quote, "We have ousted democratically elected governments and accepted the results of politically convenient but illegitimate elections as long ago as 1954. And he talks about when we helped organize a coup in Guatemala, overthrowing the democratically elected government. So, folks, when we talk about what the United States has had a hand in, there's information out there. There are facts out there that you can absolutely see and find out about if you want to, right? He says as recently as 2017, when the Organization of American States, OAS, argued that polling place irregularities required Honduras to carry out a new election, the U.S. accepted the result and recognized the winner as President Juan Orlando Hernandez, which sparked a spiral of state violence against protesters and dissent that is still happening. So she is absolutely correct. June 23, if you're listening, I hope you come back. But I am not afraid to talk about those things. Those things need to be talked about because, again, if you are a real patriot, you want accountability for your country so that you can become better than what you have been. Awesome. Great. I'm glad you'll be back. So I just wanted to add that in there. All right. So I don't know if there's IC3 Pete. Good afternoon. What you got for me? I will send you an invite to come off mute. I see 3 Pete. Did you mean to request up? No? Okay. All right. So let me go ahead. I want to play a couple of clips and then we're going to talk about them. Okay. While I get ready to do that, can I get somebody to give me a very, very quick commercial break just so I can refill my water and grab a piece of bread? Thank you, Jen.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Dani's like the master. I love getting in her checkout line because she brings all the receipts. Can I get an amen? All right. So you guys know what to do, right? We know the assignment. While Dani's getting her stuff and taking her little bio break, let's tap, tap, tap. Let's keep the clapping going. We're at 367K. Let's see if we can get to like 375 by the time she gets back. Hi, everybody. The mods have some great information, by the way. So they're typing in all caps. They're the only people besides the visually impaired that are allowed to type in all caps in the chat. So please, thank you guys for being respectful of all the rules. Yes, and exactly. There are some reminders already in the chat saying don't forget your daily heartbeat. So if you're not following Dani already, please make sure that you follow her by clicking the follow button in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. If you're already following her and you have a TikTok coin to spare and you want to join her fan club or her team, as it used to be called, you can tap that little orange or red heart to the right of her name in the upper left-hand corner of her screen. that puts a little Roman numeral and a little heart icon by your name in the chat. And that says you're part of her fan club. And every time you come into her live, tap that heart once per day. So even if she's here multiple times per day, don't forget to tap it at least once. While I'm on that subject, please, if you are on Facebook or if you're on the tube, please remember to also tap the like or the hearts on those platforms as well. That helps all of the algorithms everywhere that Dani has her content. Another free way that you can help Dani push out her content to the FYP is by tapping the share button, which is in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. That's a little curved arrow. Please, share it with your, people who need to hear these messages, people who are like-minded thinkers like you or adverse. It's okay. As you can see, Dani is perfectly capable of handling a multitude of subjects with her guests. And she's very, very respectful. She does match energy, but that's kind of what we need, right? Sometimes we just need to match energy to get some points across, and she does that very well. So again, that's another free way to do it. Please feel free to share it multiple times. If you don't have somebody specific, please tap that arrow anyway, and then click the copy link icon. That still counts as a share, and it helps the TikTok algorithm, and TikTok appreciates all of those things. If you do have some other coins to spare, you can also help Dani reach her gift goal. That's the goal that right now it's a TGIF. It's scrolling with her subscribers in the top middle section of her screen. Again, she always picks these really nice low value ones where we can tap away. You can gift her multiple times. Other ways you can gift her through her pay app. She doesn't have them listed on her background at the moment, but if you want to help out, you can please tap that in the chat, and then some of the mods can tell you what those pay apps are in the chat. Okay, another couple things that we can do, you guys, is when you're on her team, you can also drop a comment, drop gifts. All of those things help you kind of increase your points on her team, which is really, really cool. And again, sharing and tapping are the free ways that we can help all day long. Look at you guys, we're already at 386,000 likes. That is awesome. You guys know the assignment. We're all here to help support Dani on this beautiful Friday. And I would say, everybody just get ready for a nice weekend. Hopefully you guys can find an event, and you guys know what I mean when I say event. Maybe this weekend. Keep up the energy, keep building the support and the community. Yeah, Dani, take a little couple more time. Yes, look at you guys. And if you guys have not already, if you're not used to Dani's content yet, please make sure you check out the other free things that she offers. Okay, Dani has a free non-subscriber section of her Discord, and she has a enormous link tree full of resources that you can tap into. So on any of her platforms, which is always the Dani Cook. So, I know that we've got an extension on TikTok, which is great. But if you ever do want to catch her or some replays, she also has those things on the tube, as I mentioned, on Facebook. And then she also has a podcast, which is also her handle on her podcast is the Dani Cook. She's on a multitude of platforms. So just find that podcast wherever you listen to your other favorite podcasts, and you'll find her there. She's got an amazing amount of content. Again, I do want to mention her subscriber levels, though. She's got a multitude of subscriber levels where she does go above and beyond what you see here on your normal platforms, up until the point where she even does one-on-one consultation sessions. And she just had one recently. So if you have direct questions and you don't want all the distractions or, the normal kind of, I need to get you on and off the panel within a few minutes, you can have that one-on-one session with her with certain subscription levels. So make sure you check that out through her link tree, through Discord. If you have any questions or need any help, please take note of the moderators in the chat. So moderators, when you see them typing in comments, you'll see a little icon next to the name, which has a little check mark and a little person, or a little person with a check mark. Follow them, right? And thank them. Say thank you to the mods. You guys, they do a lot of work in here, and I am technically a mod, but I am always multitasking with work, so I'm not as on it as they are. So please thank the mods. They're working really hard in the chat. And follow them, and make sure you use them to ask. Yep, I see Linda in there. They're typing hi, just so you guys can see who they are. Follow them so that if you need help with anything, they are there to help with all of the platforms here, Discord, all of the different connections, help direct you to the podcast. As Dani says, all the things.
All the things.
Yeah, and I don't know if Dani has somehow managed, she is a miracle worker, but I don't know if she's also somehow managed to get 26 hours a day or 28 hours a day, because she does all the things, you guys. So please support her in all the different ways that you can. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. She is a certified consultant. She is a coach, so you know that you're getting trained help and information when we go through her. So
appreciate you, Jen.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks to all the mods. Thank you, Dani. We love you.
Love you back. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. So yeah, guys, I had to sneak a couple of bites. I just did a PB&J because I took all my meds and stuff, and then I hadn't eaten, and it is 1:11, and I'm like, holy crap! Before my belly gets upset, let me put something on it. Let me tell you a couple of things as well, right? Jen does a fantastic commercial, Cassie, doesn't she? Okay, so on the note of the free stuff, this Tuesday, I am doing another workshop. It is open to the public. It is free. All you need to do is make your way to my link tree, and then click the link that says new workshop, select the 24th, and then RSVP. There are 100 seats that are available. And then you'll join me on that Zoom. And this particular one that's coming up, we will be talking about influencing your friends and your families. We will be doing a ton of role playing about how to have conversations like you just saw me have with Firefox, like the one I had yesterday with Sherry. And they don't all end the same, right? But the idea is, how do we get into having these conversations and be effective when we do? And so a lot of that is around being comfortable with it. So that's what this one is about. The very next free workshop will be on immigration. So, okay, so let me just show you. When you go to my TikTok profile or the Tube of Faces or the Face of Books, right? When you go to my profile, let me see if I can get there and just show you on TikTok myself, right? Yes, I can. So watch this. So let me show you guys over here so you can see it. Yeah. All right. So when you go to my TikTok profile, this is the right here. This is the link tree. See it? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to put it in another browser. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this browser because I shouldn't be logged in. Yeah. So you're going to get to see it. This is how you will see it when you go to the link tree. So when you go to the link tree and you look down here where it says new workshop, influencing your friends and family, you just click that link. It's going to take you to where you can actually select the day, which is the 24th. You're going to select this 6:30 p.m. and then you're going to click next and put your information in, and then you will get the email for that. If you registered for it and it was going to be on the 17th, please register again, because Calendly did not keep all of the people that were signed up for the first one. I thought that it would, because all I did was change the date, but it did not. So the other things that I would like for you to pay attention to in the link tree are like this political resources. See this one? When you click this Google Drive, there is a plethora of information in here for you. There are sample emails. These two are specifically in relation to the big barbaric bill. This one is about immigration, and it has a ton. Yep, that's because you're in Washington State page. It has a ton of links to some of the documents that you saw me pull up earlier today. This is also I love this one. I need to do some more of these, but this bill will severely impact people that are on Medicaid. And so I have started to take information specifically about Medicaid for different states and put that information in here so that you can share it on your social media, share it with the people in your life so that you know, right? So if I do Texas Medicaid stats, did you know? And it will tell you how many women, how many children and adults are on Medicaid. It will tell you what percent are children, what percent live in rural areas. It'll tell you what percentage of them are actually working, right? Newsflash, it's almost always between 65 and 75%, right? And so it also covers all of this. So you can download these. They are free for you to just download and use and share. Also, if you take this little Medicaid email template right here, yes, Shelly, there's a whole section in there about crimes committed by immigrants. Violent crime is 0.0029%. There's one in there that's directly from the Department of Homeland Security. There's also one from the Brennan Center that's in the immigration. But so this link is where you can go get your state's information. This is a template email that I've already done for you. All you have to do is grab your state's information, put it in here everywhere that has a yellow highlight, put the information in, sign it, and then pop that sucker off to your elected individuals, right? So all of these things are available and they are in the link tree for you to utilize. This is just the resources. The link tree is huge, y'all. It literally is, I can't even tell you. So this is information on the Big Ugly Bill. If you have military people that need to know their rights, if you want Harvard free courses, this is Medicaid facts and resources. And there are several things that are bundled together in this one. See, there's that email template again, right? All of that's there. Pew Pew safety information, all of those things are there. Information on LGBTQ individuals. This is the recording for the last workshop that we did. Anyway, you get the idea that it is a very, very extensive link tree that is full of tons of information that we have put together that I've made available over the last 11 months. I have been going live on TikTok for 11 months. Next month is going to be our 1 year anniversary. July 28th is the 1 year anniversary of me going live on TikTok. We'll have some sort of party. I'll get my daughter to pop on here and come celebrate with us. So, all of that stuff is there, right? Can I send a link tree to the Trump administration? But anyway, so I wanted to make those things available. And I think sometimes it's easier when I just like show you all what the link tree is and where to go to the profile to get it. And I think it makes it a little easier than just saying, what, where is it? How do I get to, what do I do? Thanks, Walter. I appreciate that. Oh, it wants me to start a new goal. Okay. Let me do that real quick. Thank you guys for hitting all the goals. I appreciate you. So now what I want to do, as soon as I set these goals up, I want to play a couple of things from some of the faces that you see on the screen with regard to Israel, Iran, Trump, all the things. But I also want to talk about the Heritage Foundation, because what I don't hear a lot of people talking about right now is that the Heritage Foundation is playing a significant role in what we see happening between Donald Trump and Israel. They put out a strategic report. Thanks, Astrid. Specifically about that. Yes. And I will do the wink. I will do that as well. Yes. So give me 2 seconds and let's get into it. Okay. So I have, nope. Project Esther is one thing. Project Esther, the Heritage Foundation did last October. Oh, that's hilarious. And then who would have thought I'd agree with? Yeah, I know, right? Things not on your bingo card. Love that, Mama Kay. And then, yeah, so Project Esther was released by the Heritage Foundation last October. But this plan for Israel, I believe, was just released in March of this year. So we're going to talk about all those things. Before we do that, though, I am going to play, I am going to very quickly play a snippet of Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. And what I want to talk about with regard to this clip may be different than what other people have been talking about. And so I'm excited to dig into this for just a second. So let's pop into it. You ready, folks? Let's do it. Watch it and play me an ad first because it took me so long to play it, but let's see.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on.
I'm not holding up.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God is
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
Okay, so I loved this conversation because Israel today is not the same as Israel then.
Not actually going to get
it started playing the next ad. Sorry, guys.
Video.
So Israel today is not the same as Israel back then, as it was referred to in the Bible, right? But also, it's important to understand that Israel in the Bible has referred to people and places and different things, right? So it referred to the 12 tribes of Israel. It referred to like a bunch of different things, but it is not the same as it is today. Now, having said all of that, right? And the point that Ted Cruz absolutely doesn't know shit about either Israel in the Bible or Iran, right? Because he doesn't even know the population. The thing that I want to point out about that particular clip is what I hear a United States senator saying is that he is making a policy decision based on religion. Why is no one talking about this? He is making a policy decision based on his personal religion. All right? That's a problem, folks. That is a problem. And I wish more people were saying, excuse me, wait, what? Is a United States senator using the Bible to justify his political actions? Because this is not a Christian nation. There's a reason Jefferson wrote a letter and said we need to have separation of church and state. There's a reason Madison said the same thing. See? People go, oh shit, he is saying that. He is saying that. Jen, did you mean to request up?
Hey, Dani, I just wanted to add a quick little thing, and I apologize if you were going to get to this, because the other day I saw our favorite Aaron Parnas come up with a post that said there's a new flag flying with the United States flag above the Small Business Administration building. This is a government building, in case you guys didn't know or in case you guys didn't see this. The flag is called the Appeal to Heaven flag. It is also
Mike Johnson's flag.
What's that? Yeah.
It's Mike Johnson's flag.
Also, so when I was like, what is this flag? I started doing some research and I saw several different iterations of the flag. And the article that I came across was from Forbes, published in May 2024. Now, this was important because the article was talking about this flag being spotted several times outside of Supreme Justice Alito's vacation home several times. And the timing of it was important because he and the Supreme Court were going to be making decisions about the J6 events and the insurrectionists, right? So like that was important. And so there's some obviously history behind the flag, but also in that same article, it said it was also spotted outside Ted Cruz's home, which is who we're talking about right now.
Yep.
And so I just want to kind of draw a couple of connections there. So the Appeal to Heaven flag, you guys, is about basically saying that you cannot appeal to anybody else. It's supposed to be an appeal to heaven, a guidance from heaven when there is no other proper rule of law or whatever. And then by appealing to this, there will be no other appeal. There will be no other judgment. And so this is really dangerous. And the fact that it's now flying above one of our government buildings is a big red flag.
I need for people to understand. I don't know if you guys remember. I did a TikTok about this. That flag is outside of Mike Johnson's office and has been. Do you all not know this? Literally in the Capitol, that flag flies outside of Mike Johnson's office. Do y'all remember when I did this TikTok about this? Oh my gosh. Come on, my regular people. Do you not remember this? Okay, so hold on. All right, so let me just show you. Mike Johnson, appeal to heaven in the Capitol. Okay, so I'm going to show you all a picture. It is flying right outside of his office. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But no, I'm not kidding you. Here it is. And I'm going to show you. He thinks his ass is hiding it, but he ain't. Let me share my screen over here. Jen, I'm so glad you brought it up because, yeah, it's a thing. And it is dangerous. It is dangerous. They are working diligently to put Christianity into our government, folks. And that is a no-go. That is an absolute hard stop. So if you look, there's all these images, but that's it sitting behind this, and that's outside of his office. The appeal to heaven flag, right? It's one of the 7 pillars. If you guys are not familiar with the 7 mountain mandate or the 7 pillars, like this is part of, and it was being flown at January 6th, by the way. Like this is a real problem. Oh, I need to stop just doing things one time and talk more and more about it because this is a big issue. So look it up. Go ahead, Jen.
You guys, since I did the research on this, I actually did a post on it. What was it, like yesterday or whatever, the day before when Aaron's thing came out. So it's a very recent post on my profile if anybody wants to go check it out. It tells you a little bit of the brief history that was mentioned in this Forbes article. It talks about it being used by several people at the J6 event. And it talks about being spotted at Alito's house. I didn't mention in my post that it was spotted at Ted Cruz's house, but the article does mention that. So yeah, multiple of our representatives are starting to use this as representation and symbolism, right? And I do also like to tie some connections to Timothy Snyder's book on tyranny. He mentions the symbolism, right? That we're starting to see all over the nation, especially with religion and also to YT Supreme, groups. And so it is up to us to try to combat that in every way possible. Now, we can't go climb on top of a government building and take down whatever they have there, but we can also, as a reminder, combat that with our own symbolism of positivity, inclusion, and things like that, right? So like this month, I'm trying to fly as many, rainbow flags as I can, right? Like I want to push that out there to say like, look, they're not the only ones who can represent, right? We can also represent. So when we see them like stickers, that people are putting up, if they're putting up at grocery stores, if they're putting up on other public things, right? We can ask people to take those down. We can cover them up with our own positive messages. If it's someplace that you're allowed to do, I'm not at all advocating for destruction of property or private property or anything like that. Okay, so let's be very clear. But try to combat that as much as you can because this kind of symbolism is dangerous. It is representing the direction that they're moving. And you guys are all mentioning in the chat already. We have a very educated chat here. But yeah, like there's too many dots that are connecting now that we cannot ignore.
Yep, 100%. Spot on as always, Jen. Appreciate you. But yeah, folks, this is a thing.
Thank you.
And I think that this is the thing. So when I say, okay, so when people say that what's happening with, for example, in LA is a distraction. It's not. What we have to understand is that they are 100% executing their playbook, and it is not just one thing at one time. It is many things at the same time. So while everyone is busy looking at LA, they're over here installing Christian flags at government buildings. While everyone is looking at government buildings, they're over here challenging things in court that will dismantle the Constitution. They literally have an entire playbook. And what I'm so confused about is everyone has this playbook at this point. So does the world, right? We understand that the leaders of the world also have this damn document. So why do we not have some of the best minds in this country all collaborating together, right? And everyone attacking each of these things, right? So having a segment of the group that, okay, so your role is everything court related. Your role is everything legislative related. Your role is everything YT nationalist related. Your role is everything Christian nationalist related, right? And having each of these groups of people with those experts in those areas handling those very things. Oh, that one's cute, Janice. Thank you. Right? So why aren't we doing that? Yeah, I know it's the 7 Mountains Mandate. I know exactly what it is, folks. I do know. But today I can't go into 7 Mountains. I can do that like, I don't know, maybe another day. But today, because I really want to finish honing in on this. But the point that I really wanted to make about what Ted Cruz is saying is that it is 100% Christian nationalism being talked about by a United States senator in front of the world. And I did not hear anyone else say, excuse me, Senator, excuse me. This is a news flash. Like, you're breaking news right now. You're breaking news right now that the United States Senate is making, and the Trump administration is making policy decisions and conflict decisions based on religion. I wasn't aware that that's a thing. Right? Now, if you want my opinion as to why Tucker Carlson's not going to do that, is because Tucker Carlson is a Christian nationalist. A sin-filled Christian nationalist, but he's one of them. Right? So he's not going to talk about that. Again, remember when I keep saying to you, different parts of the Trump administration and the Trump base are behind him for different reasons. Some of them are 100% good with Christian nationalism. They're also good with white nationalism. They're definitely good with corporate greed, right? But they're not okay with destabilizing the Middle East and maybe like traumatizing the country and impacting their dollars. There's a lot of rich people right now that are like, what the fuck? We're not doing this conflict over there because it's horrible for the country. Right? So you have a bunch of different verticals. And the thing is that, oh, no worries. Don't worry, Lorenzo. We have to stay steadfast and informed, also grounded and rooted. So I highly recommend that you guys follow Jen over on TikTok. Go listen to the video. Jen, I'll go check it and I will repost it as well, so that everyone is aware. But I wanted people to not miss that, because in all of everyone's outrage about the fact that he doesn't know shit about Iran, right, but supports attacking them, I wasn't hearing anybody say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's Christian nationalism. That I didn't realize that we, the United States of America, we're making these types of decisions based on a singular religion or any religion at all, right? Because that should not be a thing. So for those of you all who may have missed it, the clip that I just played it's a minute and a half long. It is Ted Cruz.
I wouldn't let my husband look at me until
I can't do the ad. I can't do the ad. Girl, just come on. The ads are killing me, but unaliving me, whatever. Yeah. Well, so you got to remember now, Lockheed Martin might be really. So there's Jen. Here's Jen. I'm gonna pin Jen. Well, I'm trying to pin Jen. I can't pin Jen. Hold on. Let me. Jesus. Okay, I can't do it. It's okay. All right, I'm gonna skip, and here we go.
Shaped by the goals of the Israeli government.
Oh, no, Tucker. Not that
Growing
one.
up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my...
Tucker.
You pull out the
It's
phone
in
and use
Genesis.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused.
So that question right there, what it should have been is, so you're quoting a verse for the Bible, right? You don't have any context for it. You don't know where it is, but you're using it to justify military action by the United States of America. That was the question. That was the question. Not, I'm confused that you're quoting the Bible and you don't know shit about it, because there's a lot of people that do that every day. There are tons of people that quote the Bible claiming to be Christians and have no context for it, don't know where it is in the Bible, but they're just repeating things. That's not the part to be confused about, Tucker Carlson. The part to be confused about is you're quoting the Bible as justification for military action by the United States of America, or the support of, or the collaboration of military action with Israel. That's the question. And just for how many of you, so listen, if you're my regulars, good morning, Jerry. It's afternoon, but good afternoon, Jerry. So let me just say this. How many of you all that may be new to me are not familiar with a memorial and a remonstrance? How many of you all have never heard of a memorial and a remonstrance? Give me a 1 in the comments or something like that. Okay. Not familiar. Okay. All right. So let me show you all of this. And this is in the link tree. All right. I love that we are learning new things together. All right. So you can actually find this document in the National Archives. Okay. What's up, Jamie? All right. And so here's the thing that's so great about this note. And I'm going to share it with everybody. Okay. I got you. This is the part where, right, Madison was so spot on. Okay, so follow me. Here we go. We're going to go to a memorial and a remonstrance. Now, you got to remember, we've just finished 1776, where we have broken free from Great Britain, right? We are now the United States of America. We have fled Great Britain. Why? Because of religious persecution, right? So, James Madison is talking, and he writes this document in 1785. So we're talking like literally, guys, just 2 years after we've obtained independence and freedom from religious persecution. And now what's happened is there is a bill that is being proposed in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And this bill wants to establish Christian teachers and that their salaries be paid for by the state. Right? The Commonwealth of Virginia is going to pay the salaries for these Christian teachers, right? And so this is a little editorial note. We're not going to listen to that because an editorial is literally your own opinion, right? And I don't really care what that person's opinion is. What I do care about is what the document says, okay? So listen at what he says. We, the subscribers, citizens of the said Commonwealth, have taken into serious consideration a bill printed by order of the last session of General Assembly entitled, quote, a bill establishing a provision for teachers of the Christian religion, end quote, and conceiving that the same, if finally armed with the sanctions of a law, will be a dangerous abuse of power, are bound as faithful members of a free state to remonstrate against it and to declare the reasons by which we are determined we remonstrate against said bill. And then he lists the reasons why. So here's what he's saying in plain English today. Here's what he's saying. Thank you guys for hitting 500K already. He says, okay, so listen, there's this bill that's been printed called like, we're going to pay for teachers to teach Christianity. And we're like, listen, if this bill passes and you can now enforce it with law, it will be a dangerous abuse of power. So like, we're like, oh, fuck, it's our responsibility to speak out against this thing. And now we're going to tell you why. So that's what he's basically saying. So then he says, because we hold for a fundamental and undeniable truth, quote, that religion or the duty which we owe to our Creator and the manner of discharging it can be directed only by reason and conviction, not by force or violence. The religion, then, of every man must be left to the conviction and conscience of every man, and it is the right of every man to exercise it as these may dictate. This right is in its nature an unalienable right. It is unalienable because the opinions of men, depending only on the evidence contemplated by their own minds, cannot follow the dictates of other men. It is unalienable also because what is here a right towards men is a duty towards the Creator. it is the duty of every man to render to the Creator such homage and such only as he believes to be acceptable to him. This duty is precedent, both in order of time and in degree of obligation to the claims of civil society. Before any man can be considered as a member of civil society, he must be considered as a subject of the governor of the universe. And if a member of civil society who enters into any subordinate association must always do it with a reservation of his duty to the general authority, much more must every man who becomes a member of any particular society, civil society, do it with a saving of his allegiance to the universal sovereign. We maintain, therefore, that in matters of religion, no man's right is abridged by the institution of civil society, and that religion is wholly exempt from its cognizance. True it is that no other rule exists by which any question which may divide a society can be ultimately determined, but the will of the majority. But it is also true that the majority may trespass on the rights of the minority. This is the part that I love. He says, listen, we get it, right? It is true that that if no other rule exists, right? If there's a question that could divide society, it could be ultimately determined by the majority. But it's also true that majority may trespass on the rights of the minority. Listen, y'all, he is so spot on. And there are 15 points in this thing, right? And so I'm not going to go through all of them. But point 3 is also part of my favorites, because he goes on to say, because it is proper to take alarm at the first experiment on our liberties. Remember, 1775 has just happened. We are free from religious persecution. And he said, oh, hold on. We should be alarmed. We should be alarmed at this first piece of, yes, they are on YouTube. And he says, we should be alarmed at this first experiment on our liberties. And he says it's an experiment because if this bill passes, we've now put religion back in our legislature, back in law, back in government. And so this is the experiment. Have we truly learned our lesson from religious persecution under Britain, or have we not? And that is the same thing that is happening now. That is the same thing that is happening now. They are experimenting with our democratic, constitutional republic. That's what it is. And he says it's proper to take alarm. Don't let people gaslight you and tell you, oh, you're too worked up. Why are you so emotional? Because I fucking should be. And you should be too. If you're paying attention, you should be emotional. You should be alarmed. You should be mad. You should be passionate. You should be loud. You should be doing all of those things, because they are literally experimenting with our democratic constitutional republic, right? But then he goes on to say this other part, and then it's in the link tree, guys, so you can find it. But let me tell you this. He goes on to say this. Not only is putting religion into the government an offense to people, he says it's an offense to God. He said, because God says that men are supposed to find themselves to him through the working out of their own conscience. And if you require people to observe God, right, by law, you have now done what God himself would not do. And you have taken away that person's experience of working out for themselves who God is and what God is for them. It's good shit, y'all. And this is just 2 years after we got our independence from Great Britain. So the document is called A Memorial and a Remonstrance for the Virginia Commonwealth, written by Madison. Okay. It's one of my favorite documents that I have found in all of my research. It really is one of my favorite documents. He says, well, you should be alarmed. Oh my gosh, you should be alarmed. And we should be. We should be alarmed at how things are. Yeah, do you really? So I just think that too many people aren't familiar, right? Don't know about these things. And okay, can I share with you guys one more that if you followed me for a while, it's called A Memorial and Remonstrance. It's by James Madison, and it's in reference to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Okay. But there's another one that is also my favorite. And if you had ever told me that I would be up here quoting the founding fathers in support of like democracy, I'd have been like, what? But here we are. Here we are. And so here's the thing that I want to share with you guys. So those of you guys who know me, y'all already know who I'm going to. Who am I getting ready to talk about, you guys? Where am I going? Not Jefferson. Nope. I do have the Treaty of Tripoli pulled up, but that's not where I'm going next because that's also Madison. That's also Madison. There you go, pie slice. Okay, so here, I'm going to tell y'all who I'm going to. Just hold on. And yes, I just got giddy like a kid. I literally just got giddy like a kid. But give me a second, and I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going. You ready? I can't resist. Am I turned all the way up? Okay, I am. Y'all ready? Here we go. This is where I'm going. You ready?
How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean?
Y'all don't know this, do you?
Providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar. The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14, they placed him in charge of a trading charter.
And every day while slaves were being slaughtered and carted away across the waves, he struggled and kept his guard up. Inside, he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother.
Do y'all know who this is over in Facebook and YouTube?
Then a hurricane came, devastation reigned. A man saw his future.
Just you wait.
Down the train, put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain, and he wrote his first refrain.
Guess what it is?
To his pain. Well, the word got around and said this kid is insane, man.
Yes, Chef Ryan. I got to see him on Broadway in New York. Know your name. Alexander Hamilton.
My name is
Alexander Hamilton.
There's a million
Things I haven't done, but just you wait. Just you wait. Okay, I'm done. So yeah, I'm going to Alexander Hamilton. That's where I'm going next. So my oldest daughter gifted me. It was a couple of years ago, and so she brought me out to New York, and as a treat for my birthday, took me to see Hamilton on Broadway in New York. It was amazing, and I am spoiled. And let me just say this: I've also seen Lion King on Broadway, and I like Hamilton better. Like the costumes and everything for Lion King were amazing, and everything that I thought that they would be. But in terms of moving my absolute soul, it was Hamilton. All damn day, it was Hamilton. So anyway, so I am going to the Federalist Papers because we have to be talking about where we are now in context with where we've come from, right? Yeah, Hamilton was amazing. Okay, so listen, I'm not going to read all of this to you, but I want you to pay attention to the Federalist Papers. I'm a political nerd. No, I'm not. Shut up, man. No, I'm not. But I am a nerd, and I will be a proud nerd it was just a couple of years ago. So no, the original cast wasn't there. But one of them is returning. But anyway, let me just okay, so Listen to what he says, and I'm only going to read the first 3 paragraphs. All right. And I want you all to hear what Alexander Hamilton is saying in the Federalist Papers as they are getting ready to create this new constitution, this new union that we have become. Are you ready? Listen to what he says. And just like, we don't have to talk like this, but man, I miss when members of Congress and the administration talked in full sentences and, were respectful and, knew what words meant. Like, I just miss it. But here we go. He says, to the people of the state of New York, after an unequivocal experience of the inefficiency of the subsisting federal government, you are called upon to deliberate on a new constitution for the United States of America. He says, all right, listen, we've had an incomparable experience with our previous federal government that wasn't efficient. So we got to figure out a new constitution. That's what he says, right? And then he says, the subject speaks its own importance. He said, just by hearing that we have to develop a new constitution, I don't even need to tell you how important that is because it speaks of its own importance, right? And then he says, comprehending in its consequences, nothing less than the existence of the Union. He said, so listen, the consequences of this Constitution is nothing less than our entire existence of this union, the United States of America. Do y'all understand that he is saying this document, this Constitution that we put together, it is either the existence or failure of the United States. And then he goes on to say, it's nothing less than the existence of the Union, the safety and welfare of the parts of which it is composed, the fate of an empire in many respects, the most interesting in the world. It has been frequently remarked that it seems to have been reserved to the people of this country by their conduct and example to decide the important question whether societies of men are really capable or not of establishing good government from reflection and choice, or whether they are forever destined to depend for their political constitutions on accident and force. So listen to what Hamilton is saying, you guys. He says, listen, because we've had some examples of this, of how this stuff normally happens. And he says, will we always have to end up creating our constitutions and our governments by accident or force? Or will we be able to, with simple good conscience, and reflection, be able to choose a constitution for our government that works? And he says, if there be any truth in that remark, the crisis at which we are arrived may with propriety be regarded as the era in which that decision is to be made. And a wrong election of the part we shall act may, in this view, deserve to be considered as the general misfortune of mankind. He said, if we get this shit wrong, if we get it wrong, it literally is the misfortune of mankind. And then he goes on to say, this idea will add the inducements of philanthropy to those of patriotism. Listen to that. This idea will add the inducements of philanthropy to those of patriotism, to heighten the solicitude which all considerate and good men must feel for the event. Happy will it be if our choice should be directed by a judicious estimate of our true interests, unperplexed and unbiased by considerations not connected with the public good. I love this so much. I love this so much. I love this so much. So listen, he just said, listen to me. He said, happy will it be if our choices in this Constitution should be directed by a judicious estimate of our true interests, unperplexed and unbiased by considerations that are not connected with the public good. If it is not for the good of the public, we are not taking it into consideration with this Constitution. Happy will we be if we get to make every decision, every consideration, every choice in this Constitution based on what is good for the public. Happy we will be if we get to do that. And then he says this, but this is a thing more ardently to be wished than seriously to be expected. The plan offered to our deliberations affects too many particular interests. It innovates upon too many local institutions not to involve in its discussion a variety of objects foreign to its merits and of views, passions and prejudices, little favorable to the discovery of truth. He said, man, that's too big a thing to actually see happen. We can wish for it, but it's just not possible. He said, there's too many local institutions, too many special interests, too many objects that are foreign to its merits. And then he goes on to say, among the most formidable of the obstacles which the new Constitution will have to encounter may readily be distinguished the obvious interest in a certain class of men in every state to resist all changes which may hazard a diminution of power, emolument, and consequence of the offices they hold under the state establishments. So listen at what he says. He said, among one of the most formidable obstacles that we're going to have in creating this new Constitution for our union is anything that might diminish the power of the offices certain men have in their states already. Right? He said, and the perverted ambition of another class of men who will either hope to aggrandize themselves by the confusions of their country or will flatter themselves with fairer prospects of elevation from the subdivision of the empire into several partial confederacies from its union under one government. He said, listen, you've got one class of men who are sitting in powerful positions in their states. And these men are going to be an obstacle to this Constitution because if it reduces their power and their positions in their own states, they're not going to like it. And then there's going to be another group of men that are going to hope that if they can aggrandize themselves by confusing things in the country, right, we're going to have to deal with them. And then there's another group of men. They will flatter themselves by trying to elevate themselves into greater positions by dividing the country into several partial confederacies instead of it being united. Those are the first 3 paragraphs of the Federalist Paper number 1, written by Alexander Hamilton. I love so much of his words because he knew exactly where what we were facing. He knew exactly what we were facing. And it is the Constitution right now that we have to see if our judiciary is going to help it withstand the test of time. right? This is where we are. This is where we are. And I just wonder how many people even know about this. How many people understand where we are? Because I can promise you this, folks. The people that are in the Heritage Foundation, they know this document. The people in the Federalist Society, they know this document. They know this document, you guys. Don't think that they don't, because they do. They know that if they can get legal precedent set in these federal cases and by the Supreme Court that set the interpretation of the Constitution as something different than the spirit of it intended, they can absolutely change the course of this country. And that is why it is going to be up to the people to remind them of what this is about. This is when we write to our members of Congress and refer to this document. This is when you copy and paste little pieces out of it and you remind them. This is when you refer to this document and quote it in a letter to the Supreme Court. Can you control the court? No. Can you absolutely remind them of their oath and their responsibility, not to a party, an organization, or a person, but to the Constitution of the United States, the democratic constitutional republic that we are? It's the same thing with a memorial and a remonstrance, reminding them what James Madison said. It is proper for us to be alarmed that the Appeal to Heaven flag is flying above the Small Business Administration. It is proper to be alarmed that the Appeal to Heaven flag is outside the Speaker of the House's office in the Capitol building. It is proper to be alarmed that a United States Senator is quoting the Bible as justification for policy. It's the Federalist Papers. It's Federalist Paper number 1. It is proper for us to be alarmed. Don't let them gaslight you and tell you that it's not. It is. Absolutely. 100%. Listen, that First Amendment says you have the right to address your grievances before your elected officials. You have the right to do that. Contact them, contact the local office, ask for a meeting. Get 3 to 5 people in your community, get 5 to 10 people in your community. You guys chip in gas money and drive your ass to their office in DC. Drive your ass to their capital, to their office in your state. Get in their face. Not physically like in their face, but get an audience with them. How do I feel about petitions? It depends upon how you do them as to whether or not or how effective they will be. There is a time and place for petitions, and sometimes online petitions work best, and sometimes old school hand paper petitions work best. It just depends. If you go to my YouTube channel, there is a training called Get Into Good Trouble. And there's 2 of them that are good trouble trainings. And I talk about petitions in those. I believe I talk about petitions the most in the first one. Okay. I just want you all to know that this stuff isn't new. And let me just say this too. It is hard to know about the Federalist Papers when you're trying to figure out how to pay for your kids' medications or groceries or school supplies or clothes, right? It's hard to do those things. I'm only able to do it because this is my life. This is what I do. My subscribers know this. I'm very transparent about that. And so don't let anybody shame you for not knowing, but this is also an example of what privilege does. When you have affluent parents, and when you have generational wealth that ensures you go to classes and you go to colleges and you go to places that teach these things, appreciate you, Titus, then you know them, right? That's what privilege gets you. You know? And so it is really truly up to us as the people to hold the line and say, nope, we're not going back. It is proper for us to be alarmed, and we are fucking alarmed. Kat, I will tell you this. I am taking my first free Harvard course. It starts on the 25th, and I am enrolled in the, hold on a second. Is this it? Listen, look at me trying to figure out, like, what am I, there it is. Yep, there I am. So I am enrolled. Thanks, Julian. I appreciate that. I am enrolled in Harvard's class that starts on the 25th. If anybody wants to take it, yeah, the classes are for everyone. And the link to them is in my link tree, of course. It starts on the 25th. And I am taking, the class that I am taking is Constitutional Foundations. It's American Government Constitutional Foundations. Now, it is free. And if you want the certificate that goes with it, I think you can upgrade for like $140 or something like that. So yeah, I am taking Constitutional Foundations. It is a free class through Harvard. Nope, you don't have to send in anything. Nope, beautiful. You don't have to do anything. Gigi, I would appreciate your feedback if it wasn't condescending and judgmental. Do you understand the absolute I can't. I'm not doing that. Woo-wee. Can I say it really, really clearly? If out of all the things that I give to people, if out of all the information that I provide, if out of all of the facts and all of the resources that I get, if all you hear out of that, if the only thing that sticks with you is that I might say fuck every once in a while, I am not for you. And you are not for me. Feel free to go learn from somebody else. Okay? Just that simple. Okay. But anyway, that's the course I'm taking. It starts on the 25th. Like, if that's all you get from this, fuck out of here. So anyway, they don't care about Trump's foul mouth. They don't care about Roger Stone's foul mouth. They don't care about Steve Bannon's foul mouth. They don't care about Matt Gates's essay. They don't care about any of that shit. And so I'm not here for the selective outrage. I literally give this many fucks. If I could make my skin any tighter together, I would. Yeah, listen. There really is a difference. And just so that people understand, cursing is a man-made construct. Who decided fuck is a bad word? And just so that people understand, you can be super angry and go shit or sugar. They mean the same thing. It is the intent of your heart. When I cuss you out, you will know. Just so the people know. Yeah. Okay. So, for those of you all who do not know, I am traveling. Don't laugh at me, Jen. I am traveling this weekend. I'm not going to drop names. If you know where, just don't say anything. But here's what I will tell you is that I was invited by someone who was the deputy campaign manager on a politician's campaign who was just fucking phenomenal. And they contacted me, I don't know, a week or two ago and asked me, they're having a private event this weekend to preview an event, or it's the lighting that they are doing. And so it's an event of only about 40 or 50 people that they invited to come. And so I am traveling to go to that this weekend. So I will still be live. It just may not be at the normal or regular times, but I'm going to make it happen. I'm excited because you guys know that my niece, who I pretty much started raising when I was like 12, her and my nephew. So she's a single mom. She has MS, and she also has like seizures, right? And so she never gets to go anywhere or do anything. And right now, her daughter is with her dad, not my niece's dad, but my great niece's dad, right? So like they're divorced, and so visitation. So anyway, so I decided that since this is a great city that she will love to see, I am taking her with me. It'll be her first trip to this particular city. I'm going to take her to one of my favorite places in that city, and treat her something. So she's excited. She's super excited. I would normally keep going and play through all of these things. However, I will do that. I will finish maybe tomorrow for the rest of these videos. And the reason why is it's already 2:15, and I need to go. I need to clean out my car, like do all the things, do all the, you know what I mean? I need to do all the stuff and pack because I haven't done that. So I know that it was only 3 hours for Drinks on You, Beach Bum. Love that. But no, she really does. Listen, when I talk about, when we talk about things that people go through, right? It's one of those situations where, here's what I will say without providing too much personal information, right? But we live in a society that is horrible. When you can have major seizures twice a month easily, and the tick ones constant, right? And I do mean constant. And have MS and have all the scans to show it, and it on your spine and on your brain, and you be a single mom and still not get help from the government. We have a problem in this country. We have a problem. And so I said to her last night, that's one of the reasons I'm not on the road. I was going to leave early this morning after the grandbabies left, but she works, and she works until 6. And so I said, I surprised her this morning, and I said, I'm just going to do some other stuff. I'll do a podcast episode, which, by the way, new podcast episode is out in the morning. But yeah, here's what I will tell you is that, yeah. And so what I said is, yeah, see, Rogue, it's just horrible. And so if this is something that I can do and it's going to make her happy and give her a little treat, and I get to love on her a little bit, she deserves every bit of it. So we're going to do that. So that's where we're going. She's super excited too. All right. So folks, I'm going to go. The podcast is the Dani Cook Show. It is pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, Podbean, all of those things. Appreciate you. I'm excited about this episode. The last three, I have really liked. The one that I'm just putting out is a recap of the conversation that I had with Sherry yesterday. So if you missed that, it'll be this podcast episode. And I've got one more to record when I get off with you guys so that I can get it scheduled. And then I'll be able to just go clean out my car and do all those things. So yes, Mark, she does. She has all of that. She sure does. She has seizures. She's had them as long as I can remember, since she was a teen, and she has MS, and she works and has a daughter that is in middle school. So it's one of the reasons why I moved where I moved, so that I could be near her, my daughter, and my grandkids. We're all within a very close distance to each other, so we can all support each other, because that is what is needed. So Nancy G, the Sherry conversation is on my Substack. It is also on the podcast for tomorrow. There was a podcast episode that just dropped on Wednesday of this week, and there was a podcast episode that dropped on Sunday. So if you are not all caught up, please get all caught up. The views and the downloads that the views, Jesus. The listening and the downloads of the podcast count a whole lot within the first 7 days. So please listen. I need to get those the listens and downloads back up to where they were. So that we continue to be in the top 10% of podcasts globally. So we are a little under that because I had about a month where I didn't record any episodes, and y'all know how it works. So listening and getting caught up, especially in the first 7 days of an episode, is tremendously helpful. So I appreciate all of you all. We've got work to do, but together we can do the work. And I really do believe that. I'm just not about being negative and all of the things. I'm just not. It's not helpful. And right, Titus, life be life. And so I appreciate everybody. I really do. Love you much. And I will see you all tomorrow right here. Okay. See you later. Bye.